The book is called It's About Time, Your Blueprint for Effective Time Management. And it's basically about teaching people how to live out their purpose by maximizing the time they have. Many times people say this, the purpose of living is to live a life of purpose. And that is the essence of the book, to help us to use the time that we have to live out that purpose. With time, you can be able to know your purpose. Many people struggle with finding what their purpose is. And in the book, we highlight how you can be able to discover what your purpose is. And in addition, we also help, or rather give examples of how other people, especially Africans, have been able to live out their purpose. And that is the purpose of this book, to show us how we can maximize the use of our time to really live out the purpose. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11, Solomon, the richest and the wisest man, gave us some advice. He said, I've seen under the sun that the race is not to the swift, the battle is not to the strong, food is not to those who are wise, or wealth coming to those who are intelligent, but time and chance happen to them all. Time trumps speed, it trumps wisdom, it trumps intelligence, if it can be used in the right way. And that is the whole idea of the book, that if we can use time in the right way, then we can achieve every goal that we desire to achieve. Basically, the concept is just to help us understand how short of a time we have on earth. Many a times we normally say that people underestimate what they can do in 10 years and they overestimate what they can do in 1 year. So we tend to be short-sighted in our thinking. But when we convert the years to days, it gives us an actual state of how long or how short our life is. So the conversion of years to days, for example, we say if you have lived 120 years, you have lived less than 50,000 days. We're just saying that time is short. And because time is short, we need to do our best to maximize the use of that short time that we have. What we did is that through experts who have done time calculations, they have come up with a formula where you can kind of calculate how each minute or how much each minute of your life would cost. Basically, you take your income or your salary and you multiply it by 1.5 because you want to take care of overheads and things like that. Then you divide it by the number of days, or you can go down to minutes, you can even go down to seconds. And when you do that calculation, it will give you how much exactly each hour costs you. And it is very important, especially for professionals. If you really want to know how much your value is, you do this calculation, then you'll know how much each minute costs you. And what we are saying in this book is that that is your current status. But with some small minor improvements, you can be able to improve that figure as you improve the use of your time. It's just a move from God. That is the source of it. All the ideas and all the books I'm writing get the inspiration from God. And when I get the inspiration from God, then my first source of information is the Bible. And that is where I get the information from. In addition to that, of course, I've lived life, so I use my own experiences. I've also learned from the experiences of others whom I've lived with, and some I've read about, and some I see who are public figures. But the main source of information is the Bible, and that is what guides the information. I think it's twofold. Number one, if we look at Africa as a continent, we have so much potential that is partly used, and part of it is untapped. And that potential is something that I really wanted to tap into. If you look at the many books that we have today, motivational books, inspirational books, even Christian books, we have stories of people who've made it, and especially examples from the US really stand out, and some from other parts of the world, but especially the US. They are very good recorders of history, of what has happened, and from those from the lives of those people, we're able to learn a lot. And it was my desire to see us learning from Africans who've also been able to do it. It's not that we are not doing it, it's only that it has not been recorded. So I felt that through this book, it's one of the ways in which we can start recording some of these stories of the great Africans who have really made a difference in Africa and beyond because of the life they've lived. We normally say this, that your success solely depends on you as much as it depends on others. So in as much as it depended on me writing the book, it also depended on my publisher being able to give me the professional input that is necessary to make the book a success. And they've done a very great job. There are many things I did not know about the publishing process. And the professional help from CLC Kenya was very insightful and helpful to help me sort out those things. A very good example, I'll just pick this book, is the cover. I think this is one of the great professional work done by CLC Kenya that really made a difference in this book. I've got a lot of feedback from many people who like the cover of the book, and it gives me a chance that I am able to sell the book to them or communicate my ideas to them, because from the cover they're able to like the book from the face value. And that is very important. Without professional help from CLC, I would not have been able to do something like that. Yes, print on demand is an amazing technology. These are the technologies that are really changing the publishing industry today. And we are moving more away from the traditional publishing, the offsets, to print on demand, because it's what is current. And with the growth of the internet, and especially the growth of self-publishing, it is a really helpful technology for us. It means we don't have to really produce many books and keep them lying somewhere because it ties our money. Rather, we just produce what we need, and it is able to achieve the same purpose which we've done before. I just gave a colleague the book just after the Authors Club launch. She happened to land on the poster from another platform. So she came to the office and told me, "You are a writer, you never told me anything about this. I need the book." So I gave her the book, and she really is really happy with the book, and she's actually she's saying she's recommended it to her friends and her children as well, because she feels that the message there is very important and is very helpful for her. So every time we keep receiving messages like this, and we get really encouraged, and it gives us that impetus to do another book and another book and another book after that. Normally, say for me especially, two things have worked. The first one is having a to-do list, and the to-do list, we normally say have a maximum of 6 things that you want to do. And for me, I'm learning now also to shut down everything else when I'm focusing on a task, so that I'm effective and I'm able to do it start to finish. So once you have your to-do list, and then you are able to really prioritize and focus, and when you pick one thing, you stick with it until you finish. Many a times, many people, even though you have a list, you pick this one, you stop in the middle, you pick another one. I mean, you're all over the place. But if you pick one, concentrate and finish, then you're able to keep achieving, keep doing, and keep ticking off that. Then the other thing we're also saying is, if you can prepare your day in advance, a day in advance, I mean the day before. I know some people say do it in the morning, but I find that doing it the day before is better, whereby you list what you're supposed to do the next day. It keeps your juices flowing, and by the time you're waking up in the morning, you know how your day is supposed to be. My next project is about giving, and especially giving in church. Giving is one of the misunderstood topics in churches, and it's because of how we've seen the leadership of the church using some of the giving that has been given by God's people in churches. And I'm talking about tithing, I'm talking about offerings, I'm talking about other special gifts that we give in church. And this book focuses especially about the financial part of it, how our giving is important and how it can really impact and change the work of God. The Bible says that the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And I believe if we can give in the right way, then we can go ahead and really take part of that harvest that is plentiful out there. For a potential author, I'll just encourage you to tell you first, it is possible. For me, when I was writing this book, I didn't know it is possible. I wrote my manuscripts and I kept them with me until somehow eventually my mentor was able to bring it out of me, and I was able to actually see it is possible. So for any aspiring author, I'd encourage you to know that it is possible, and it is not as expensive as you might think. It is not as costly as you might think. I always say that money has never held anyone back. but your own mind, your own self, you're the only one who can hold yourself back. So if you're an aspiring author, write your manuscript, bring it to CLC Kenya, and you will be able to make your book see the light.